And we are
Oh,
live.
we
And
live.
we are live.
Coming from the
We are
kitchen of Princess Hoy and the living room of studio background check. Waka wak of Val the Voice Johnson.
Oh my gosh, thank you so
Joining
much,
us for
guys.
our 1000th episode.
Well, that's not 100% true, but that's fine. But we'll come back to why we're here in like 30 seconds. Here we go.
Break it down.
Oh my gosh, it's wonderful. Look at this. I am Val the Voice Johnson, and I am here with a very great good friend of mine. It is our guest host for today, Miss Princess Hoy. Yay!
Ah, hello,
And
Interludes family. How you do? How you do? How you do? How you do? How to do?
how, how'd you do? And hi, Facebook user. And I gotta see who that is. I have
Hi.
no clue. Well, we're here. This is Wamble Wednesdays, and on today, Mr. Wamble, our usual host for this platform, is not here. He is spending some time, Princess, with his beautiful daughter. So I,
Alrighty. Family
so
is
I,
important.
so I decided to do two things in one: his show and the audio podcast, which is right now, which is happening right as we speak.
We're live.
I know. Oh, it's
Truly live.
Dolores. I know. Hey,
Hello,
Dolores. How are you?
Dolores.
Welcome.
Hi. Thank you
So,
for joining us on this most auspicious occasion.
where did you get that accent from Bridgerton? I don't know. Did you get that from Bridgerton?
I have no idea where the heck that accent came from. That's just my I'm the professional chilling in the DJ booth voice. So if
I
I need
think
to do
it's
some character overtures, I could do that.
well, Princess has been a part of Interludes growth, and what I'm very excited to do this today is what we're celebrating our 100th episode, and we are now in our second year, going into our third year, and going into our fifth season. I'm like really excited about that. And so there's some things that I used to do back when I first started, and this was when we were deep in pandemic, whatever you want to call it. Little shorts
Pandemic
to
world.
tell, yeah, pandemic world. Little shorts that I would tell people about and say, hey, look at you guys. This is what we're doing. And so I'm going to share a little bit of what I did back in the time when I first started. I'm going to bring this up, and hopefully it will come up without an issue. Let's see. Yes, it's so serious out here. Look at me.
Hey
What am I?
sis,
Guys, welcome.
with that
Welcome to my
beautiful
live. I'm
poinsettia in the
Valerie
back.
Johnson, a host knew it of was Christmas Interludes. Time. It is Wednesday, December 16th. Ah,
You're so nervous.
and I think we are less than a week away from Christmas and less than 2 weeks away from the new year. Welcome. How you guys doing out there?
How's it doing?
Well,
How you doing?
I know. Thinking, my gosh, do I gotta go and get Mookie and them from the Bronx and take care of this? What's time? Oh wait, let's go back. I was still living in New. Tried to take her car. She screamed, but they grabbed her purse. It So I did a podcast about
the carjackings and
the
stuff in the
carjacking and
neighborhood.
stuff in the neighborhood. And what I went ahead and I explained what happened to my mom. I want to say back in
Doing her thing.
2017.
Had parked a car in the garage, and two teenagers came up and tried to take her car. She screamed, but they grabbed her purse. It traumatized my mom big time. And I was still
Mhm.
living
Yeah, I
in New
remember
York
that.
at the time. And I was just
Mhm.
thinking, my gosh, do I gotta go and get Mookie and them from the Bronx and take care of this? What's happening?
No, you got light skin and me from around the way. Light skin down the street, me from around the corner.
It was wonderful. I talked with one of my good friends, Angela Herlock, and she got me a Chicago detective to interview for that. And I was able to talk about some of the things that we could do to protect ourselves because carjacking in 2020, Princess, do you remember how it used to be around our neighborhood?
Our neighborhood was, I mean, it kind of still is. It's just bits and pieces here and there, but our neighborhood has always been quiet. You know, everybody
Mhm.
knows everybody. We all look out for one another. And the fact that some schmuck puppies from wherever the heck they're from, because they were definitely not neighborhood kids, to actually
Mhm.
have the gall and the audacity to mess with family just really put, as they say, a stick in my craw. And
That's
our
right.
parents lived 8 houses down from each other. They were both up in age. You know, my
Mhm.
mom being in her 80s, upper 80s, you know, driving her car, coming in through the alley, just like your mom. And
Right.
for some idiot to do something like that, that really irritated my soul and my existence. And for those of you who don't know me, I'm kind of psychotic anyway. And I have this I don't give a flying fig Newton type attitude. So to hear that happen to my second mom, you
Oh yeah.
know, that really pissed me off. And then of course I had my mom on high alert. So my mom at the time when she was driving, I got her a taser in her car, I got her
Wow.
mace in her car.
Wow.
And I also,
Wow.
yeah, and I also got her, you know, even though she said she wasn't going to use it, but I got her a rape whistle. And I was like, okay, I really don't care about the whistle. I just need you to be within really good reach of the mace. And the mace is the mace that the police officers use. So it
Right.
wasn't no cheesy stuff that you got from Walmart. This is the stuff you had to go and order from like policeacademy.com, so to speak. And the you know, and the Scovilles, I think that's what they call it, on this was well into like 100 million. So this was the pepper spray or the mace that was used in the club. What was that, way back when all of those people got trampled because the security guard used like mace at that nightclub eons
Mhm.
ago. I think it was Y2 something, but
Yeah.
hi Dolores. But yeah, so like right now, even though it's kind of toned down a bit, it's still crazy. And I know as a woman and you know, being out in my car a lot, I'm even prepared. I have mace, a weapon. I won't say what kind of weapon, but I have a
Yep.
weapon in my car. I have mace in my car, and yeah, that's it. That's all we're gonna say. I have. I'm protected. I'm protected. There you go. Shh. I'm
Yeah, don't.
protected. So I don't even worry about that anymore. And the fact that, you know, my mother no longer has her car, um,
Oh.
and I pretty much take her everywhere. You know, that's like my security for myself because yeah, I just did not approve of that. And the things
Mhm.
that really got me when this was running rampant, there were
Yeah.
kids that were trying to jack off-duty police officers.
Yeah.
And when they got their feelings hurt, you know, their parents were like, "Oh, you shouldn't do that. They were no, they didn't know what they were doing." No, they did know what they were doing. They
Yeah.
truly did.
And
And
yeah.
just like last year, um, my daughter, my oldest daughter, got her car jacked, and
the
she
world?
ended up calling her father. Yeah, having got carjacked, and she ended up calling her father instead of me, because she's like, I'm not calling my mama because my mama kind of crazy, and I'll just take the safest route available, which was calling her dad, which was like the wrong thing to do, but she got her car back. She was able to track her car on her laptop, with, I guess, the low jack system. I don't know what was on her car, but she got
Okay.
it back and there were no problems. They didn't do anything, but they had intentions on stripping her car down, but I'm so glad they didn't. But yeah,
Yeah.
this it's like the foolishness these days. It's ridiculous,
Yeah.
and I don't like the fact that, you know number one, with the way society is, with people saying, oh yeah, I'm hardcore, I can do this, I can do that. No, you can't do this and you can't do that, because people work hard for what they have. And
Mhm.
for you to just try to just take it away from them, just be like, oh yeah, screw you. But then when I hurt you, I have to hear from attorneys and parents of like, oh no, well, you shouldn't have did that to my kid. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah.
So the one thing that I will say is that I like to call that particular podcast and other podcasts that we had over the last 2 years, like it kind of the community service podcast, the one that kind of help with our local community and to just
Hmm.
say, hello, this is what's happening in our area. What can you do to help protect yourself? And it was good to have an expert on to talk about it. And that was one of our most downloaded episodes for that part. That was December of 2020. Now I'm going to pivot going from carjacking to actually looking at cars. One of the reasons why one of our guest hosts and beautiful friend, Miss Princess Hoy, is with us. Michael Wamble, our executive producer, had the wonderful idea to say, "Hey Val, go to the auto show and see what you can film." And I went with Princess, and the auto show was in a weird time. It's usually on February in of the
In
year.
February, yeah.
Yeah, because of the pandemic, it got pushed up to, I want to say, July of
Yep, it was in
2021.
July.
But I have to tell on my friend Princess just a little bit. She loves
It's
dogs.
all lies. It's all
Yes,
lies. Okay, no, that's true.
she loves dogs. We were at a Subaru situation, a Subaru setup at the auto show, and here's what happened when Princess got a look at some of the dogs that were there. A great road car. So that's what's up. Are you excited because you see the puppies?
I'm gonna take a puppy home.
Here we go. What do you think, Princess? What were you thinking?
Oh my God, that still makes me smile. Look at that.
You cannot take. You can't take another. We're in the Subaru area, and one of my Princess is obsessed with dogs, and she's talking to this young lady about sneaking out a dog. I can't take her anywhere. She wants to take home a dog. We're at the auto show and she wants to take home
They were the
a
cutest
dog.
little pit bulls, though.
I gotta get her out of this section of the auto show. Help!
Hey, look, in my defense, those puppies felt my energy. They felt
Yeah, they
my
did.
love, and they like,
Mhm.
oh, we get to have a new mommy. And trust me and believe, I would have stolen probably 3 of them, especially the black and white one that reminded me of my cookie, because he had just passed away like
Oh,
4 months
yeah.
prior.
Mhm.
And he was the one that was just all of, I'm like, oh, but okay, so I admit I have a soft spot for dogs. I have a soft spot for anything that would have a soft spot for me, which is why I have a zoo. I would definitely say, yes, I have a zoo. I'm not ashamed of it.
Well, the one thing that I will say is I've been trying to encourage my friend Princess. She needs either a YouTube channel or something in this regard to talk to all the dog moms and dog lovers in the world. She has 5 dogs. 2 were kind of given to her from her daughter, and she cares for all of them. I went by her home, and it was by accident. She wasn't there. Her husband comes out, Eric, but all of the dogs lined up and was barking at me. And one in particular, the brown one, what's his name, Princess?
His name is Rocco.
Rocco. So Rocco was kind of giving me that Joe Pesci vibe from Goodfellas. Like, hey, we don't know her. We don't know her.
Like,
come on, let's bark. Roof, roof. And then there was one of your older dogs kind of looking like, woof. Why? Like what's going on? But Rocco's like, yeah. Come on. We don't know her. Is she approaching the house? Come on. Come
Hey, yo, get to stepping, bro. Get to stepping, bro. We don't know you.
So her Princess and her husband will never have to worry about anybody breaking into their home, because if anyone attempts to, they're gonna get got.
It's gonna be some issues. And it has happened in our 11 years in this home in beautiful Hoy Manor. There have been 3 attempts actually for people trying to get into our home since the day we got married. We got married June 11th, 2011, and June 23rd. Yay! June 23rd. Someone jumped the fence and got a rude awakening. Yeah. And then the next time it happened was like 3 years later. And it was probably 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. They got on our back porch by jumping the fence, running from the cops. Again, got a very rude awakening. And yeah, I mean, and it's to the point now, like the third and final time, because they say stuff comes in 3s, but then they say 3 strikes and you're out. I really think everybody now knows, don't mess with Hoy Manor. Please don't. No. Because the last time somebody did, they again came through the backyard. They jumped the fence, and this rude awakening was met by Kingston. God bless his soul. I miss him so much. Was met by Blue, who is like, he looks like Spike from Tom and Jerry. He's a big old pit bull. and by Casey, and followed by me with full ninja swords. So, yeah, it would behoove you, anyone that is not invited to Hoy Manor, don't try to come to Hoy Manor.
Don't try to come in. And speaking of breaking in, we don't do now over the last 2 years, over our 100 episodes, our 4 seasons, because we do about 20 to 25 episodes. Yay, a season. So we ended our 4th season last week talking about Black people famous. But we talked about breaking in, but what had happened in January of 2021 was this weird thing that is now there's hearings regarding the January 6th insurrection that happened. And I had a political science
puppies.
I know. So I had a political science professor and actor of 1619, the musical, Ted Williams III on. And we were just kind of going back and forth, just kind of going back and forth. Go ahead and let us know where you're watching in from. But I'm going to play a little clip from this interview talking about if these people were of another race, what would have happened. So let me just play a little bit from that.
And what they did was they allowed for media companies to not have sort of unbiased media, right? So that they would not have to present themselves a little bit more when you asked the question today. I have been heartbroken, not just by what has happened in this community, but by the mainstream sort of multicultural church movements, their lack of ability to stand against these things.
What do you think would have happened if Black Lives Matter had broken into the U.S. Capitol?
So I did a TV show the other day, and the host asked me, and I laughed out loud when she asked the question. I held myself a little bit more when you asked the question today. Valerie, we all know what would have happened, right?
Of course.
It doesn't need to be said again. we recognize that in America,
Bang, bang,
America
boogie.
really is a dichotomy, right? So on the one hand, it is a place of freedom and opportunity. There's enough of that sort of reality to lull a lot of us to sleep. There are enough people who are of color who have made some money. There are enough people who have degrees. There are enough people who have freedoms that we look at the society and we really refuse to believe what has been said to us now really for 400 years. Maya Angelou said that when someone shows you who they are, you should believe them.
Believe them, yes.
Right. And so, America has shown us that in many ways,
Who they are.
They are a place that accepts second-class citizenship. And that's really what it is.
I wanted to go ahead and just show that little clip, but we had talked about if anyone of color would have been the main people that had stormed the Capitol, because it took a long time to do the prosecution. And right now the hearings are going on. Have you been watching any of that or
Which
no?
is over a year and a half later. And to me, that is like totally and completely ridiculous. I mean, you have people who are posing in offices with like, yeah, look what I did, bro. I'm Capitol here. Like, are you kidding me? And the fact that it was just done so easily. And you're right. If any other nationality, any other race did something like that, how many bodies would have just been strewn all around the Capitol steps? Actually, I don't even think they would have gotten thus far as they did to knock, 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 knock on the door, knock, knock, knock. We're going to do a Sheldon now. Knock, knock, knock. Okay, nobody's home. Bam. And no, come on, give me a break. You know, and what really kills me is that there was a senator, I believe, in Detroit who was actually targeted, and so many Black military men came to her aid, surrounded her, you know, with their semi-automatic rifles, their shotguns, you know, their pistols, whatever. And these are legal men. These are educated men. These were military men. These are like off-duty officers of the law, all Black men. And I want to say maybe 2 or 3 white men, but the media proclaimed them to be hostile and violent. No, I'm protecting someone who everyone else is trying to kill, you know. But when this happened in the storming of the Capitol, I was completely sickened to my stomach, because it's like, this is the dumbest crap I have ever seen in my entire life. And nobody's doing anything except sitting back like, okay, all right, well, nope, I can't do anything. Are you serious? So you didn't call the National Guard. You didn't call any police officers. You're surrounded by like police officers in DC. Virginia is a hop, skip, and a jump away, but no one was called. No one was there to protect the people that are so-called in power, and the alleged leader in power, Mr. Cheeto, was like, hey, well, you know, if it happens, it happens. All right. Like,
and there was, and that's the and the investigation. I understand now more and more people have testified, and I think they interviewed his daughter. Everyone that was literally on the former president's side had to testify. No, we told him that the results were that he lost. We told him and we showed him, and there was no fraud. And just kind of that repeating that I'm constantly hearing about this. I was thinking to myself, I don't understand how this happened. However, it's very disturbing to me that there are so many people that they were willing to, if they had found any of those congressmen or senators on the floor while they were making what we've called in this country for now decades, you know, the transference of power, which is supposed to be a constitutional right that's supposed to happen.
if they had gotten to any of those folks and some senators as well as congressmen, what it could have, more people unfortunately could have died. And I am hoping and praying that these hearings will, for anyone that has supported our former president and, you know, poured money into his campaign and really believed in him, I just hope that it kind of realigns and just helps the Republican Party come back together, reunite, and go, we trusted the wrong person to lead us.
We made a mistake. We made a huge mistake.
We gotta go over here.
People will never admit, right? They'll never admit that they were wrong because you know,
admit it.
When
you don't
he
have to
said,
admit it.
when he said on national television, if Mike Pence gets in the way,
oh no.
Like when he did that, I was like, isn't that treason? Like, you definitely just threatened the vice president of the United States, and you're the so-called president of the United States. And with all of these people saying, oh, well, you know, he didn't do anything and blah, 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 blah. And what should we do? What should we do? My main question when all of that transpired was, okay, humans, think of it like this. If Obama did that, what would you do?
Exactly.
Do that to Trump.
No.
Why is it taking this long?
Well,
you know, y'all went crazy. They went crazy when Bill Clinton had his little affair in the White House, but they were so quick to get him out. They were so quick to get Nixon out. You know, why is it taking so long for this? And then when all the so-called Republicans are like, oh, well, Hillary lost, just get over it. Okay, well, guess what? Tito lost, get over it. No, this rigged. No, nothing was rigged. Like, come on. Like, give me a break. So whatever the heck y'all wanted to do to Obama, do now.
Yeah,
why are you sitting on your bus? Why are you like
the transference of power? The transference of power from when I think it was Gore who was running, and he thought things were off, and it ended up being George Bush Jr. who ended up winning. There was no the W. There was no insurrection. There was nothing crazy that happened, and so I'll make this the last on the politics thing. But the one thing that I will say, currently, right now, these hearings are going on. Unfortunately, we've had our former president put in a lot of conservative judges. So recently, we've had the reversal of Roe versus Wade because of the conservative majority on the Supreme Court. And now
that's a whole different conversation that we can't even get into.
I can't even get into it, but I'm just mentioning it because the orange man, as you like to call him, or I'll be respectful. Our former president did this. So, but entertainment.
Cheetos don't even like being registered, like put in context with that.
I know entertainment has been the fun part of Interludes, and we started Talk on Tuesdays in February of 2021. It's been fun ever since. And we definitely brought on Coach Tony. He's been fun. And all of us graduated and went to North Central College. So it's kind of like an alumni fun party on Tuesday nights. I know you've checked this out.
Reunion type thing.
But what I will do is one of our most famous interviewees that we had, and we had a lot of fun. I love the movie Love Jones. It was shot here in Chicago, and Bernadette Speaks was our guest on there. I used to love that. I used to love it. But here's a little piece. Here's a little piece from that interview with Bernadette Speaks. And here it comes. Thing is when Augustine said, okay, Bernadette Speaks is coming to speak to the actor-writer group. And I'm like, oh, okay, Bernadette Speaks. Because remember, at the time, you were Bernadette Clark. So I didn't make any kind of connection. Then I saw you, and I think you know.
I had my braids, and
yeah. So I was looking.
What I had in the movie, so it was like,
right. I'm looking. I'm turning. I'm looking. I recognize her. And
like, I don't know that woman.
Then Augustine told me, and I was squealing like a girl in the background. And so Augustine has been on this podcast. And when I told Michael was like, please, you got to get her on. And I'm like, okay, let me.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for having me on. This is fun.
Thank you. Look, I mean, and it's not as though, everything revolves around one thing, but I can still remember walking out of the theater that day like,
Yes.
wow. I remember who I was with. I remember holding her hand for the movie. I just remember everything, every detail about it. My goodness. There's a film. There's a film called Diner. I don't know if you're familiar with it. There's a film, I think it's the 70s, called Diner. And in the film, one of the guys is getting married, and he gives his fiance a test where she has to know so much sports trivia, his friends, for them to be compatible.
She failed by 2 questions.
So one of the first things, I swear to goodness, one of the first things I do with anybody I meet or date or anything, at some point early on,
you got to hear
I
this.
ask them, have you seen Love Jones? And if the answer is yes, I know, like, oh, okay, cool. If the answer is no, I'm like, ooh, hey, I have it. Let's watch it, And we watch it, and I kind of gauge their reaction to the movie, and then I know, like, how to proceed.
No, he not basing his relationship on Love Jones. Now, see, I can't tell you nothing about Love Jones, but I can tell you all about Diner. Steve Guttenberg, Kevin Bacon, but Love Jones, I know it was filmed here in Chicago. I love the downtown scenes. What's his name? The pretty boy. Oh, what's that pretty boy name?
Lorenz Tate.
Yeah, him. That boy.
The lead
Lord,
actor,
that man is pushing 50, and he just.
He looks fabulous. But as we wrap up, I am just excited. I'm grateful. I literally called Princess this morning and said, hey, I'm going to be doing this anniversary episode. Could you come on and be a guest host? And I want to make sure that people got reintroduced to you, because that video of us at the auto show got viewed close to 100 times. So a lot of people they know about you from that and your love of dogs.
Us. Yay!
Exactly. But I think that we did a great job filling in for Mr. Wamble on this hashtag Wamble Wednesdays. But go ahead and please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel if you like what you've seen. We were just kind of just go ahead and subscribe. And then also we will have a brand new podcast. We have one every single Wednesday. This will be available on our audio platforms of Apple, Spotify, and the like a little bit later on this evening. But as of right now, I am your host, Val the Voice Johnson, and I'm so grateful that my friend...
And I am your guest host, Princess, the friend princess.
That is our guest, Princess Hoy. And this has been hashtag Wamble Wednesdays. We are out. Peace.
Deuces.
Oh, come on.